One More Round, the Young Professionals podcast, is brought to you by Anchor. Create, distribute, and monetize your podcast with Anchor. Anchor believes everyone's stories can and should be heard. Around the world, creators are using Anchor's powerful platform for everyone, everywhere, for free. Anchor. I'm Matt Kelly. My co-host is Chris Vion. Welcome to One More Round, the Young Professionals podcast. Episode 6. To you, the valued listener, thank you for searching for us and making us a part of your day. Nick Spano, the co-founder of uStadium. Nick has been a game-changing presence on social media dating back to 2009 when he came on the scene using the then brand-new app, Twitter. We ended up connecting there. I could instantly see he had a big vision when it came to making his mark in the sports world. With his passion for sports and people, creating this app was a no-brainer, but a journey of persistence, hard work, and patience, as he will tell you during our conversation, which will inspire you and all the younger professionals out there to not only chase their dreams, but how to do so and go one more round. Off the top of my head, my first, question was definitely, what motivated and drove you to create, this interactive sports site?
So myself and Frank, who I do uStadium with and have done uStadium with for what feels like forever, the past few years, we came out of school and wanted to work in sports, and we wanted to really build our own, thing. We didn't know if we wanted to do a business. We didn't, we had no business experience. We were like 21 or 22 years old, and we just started making content, really, whether it was written on Twitter, back in the early days of Twitter, where we first met Matt, like 2009, right, or something along those
exactly.
lines.
Yep.
So, it was meeting with people on Twitter virtually, and then meeting in person, at the tailgates or the games or events. And we were writing blog posts. We were doing podcast or hosting shows before podcasts were so hot, which was really in the past 5 years. And we were just putting out so much content and our opinions on so many different platforms, all for, trying to create this brand. So, what we did really was created this Jets show, the New York Jets Focus show, and hosted a live video show each Friday night. And we would have guests call in, we would have, fans call in, and we would do basically your regular kind of podcast or show. And it was, it was really, really cool. And fans were hitting us up saying, how can we do this? What do you use to do this? And when we would always respond, and we would say, well, we're using Blog Talk Radio for the show. We're using WordPress for our blog. We're using Twitter and Facebook to promote it. And it was on a night of an investment meeting where we stayed up till like 3 a.m. We were supposed to have that meeting at 8 in New York City, and the idea for uStadium kind of came about, and we were like, screw this other platform, what we were doing. Let's build this out. Like let's turn our passion and what we're doing and give fans the opportunity to do what we're doing in one place.
What's been your biggest challenge today in keeping up with the competition or within your industry today?
I think kind of building and finding a team and finding people who are as motivated and as, I guess you can say, structured as we are. Obviously, you're never going to find people who are, the blood, sweat, and tears that we have put in from the start. So that's kind of an unrealistic goal. But finding people who are really hungry and driven and finding that entrepreneurial mindset. Obviously, the basic answer would be, fundraising and developing. Obviously, that's always hard, but that's anybody. But I would say it's finding people who can really bring different expertise to the team, and getting them all involved in doing this all remotely, obviously, has always been a big challenge. But it's been awesome. Like, we met a lot of great people along the way, and smart people, a lot smarter than I am. And, the team aspect I'm always, big on. So it's a challenge, but it's also a reward.
It's not just sports fans that are behind the creation of this. It's all different types of interests of people that come aboard to make this happen for uStadium.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like most of the content guys and girls are obviously sports fans because that's where their interest is. But
Sure.
the technology team probably wouldn't know the difference between a football and a baseball. So it's cool to kind of have that different level of interest, and again the expertise, their tech side. So we've worked with a lot of different tech guys who literally have no idea what the NFL is.
Every person, every company, every idea needs to evolve over time. We have uStadium in 2021. Nick, where do you want to bring uStadium in, say, 2025?
I want it to be up there as like the standalone, fan opinion, being users making a ton of money off of their opinions and their sports takes, and really just up there with the big boys as like the brand that sports fans turn to and don't really need anything else. That's my goal, is just to be in the phone, of every sports fan, and just, creating content and, listening to different kinds of content and just having live stuff all the time, whether that's live podcasts or whatever it may be, and just a place for every fan to voice their opinion and be rewarded for it.
Amazing. I kind of want to touch on a few things with you, Nick, too, because obviously this show is really designed to help the millennials out there, have a blueprint
Sure.
of how to get to where you're going. A lot of pods out there, I don't think really address that. I think that's where Chris and I really want to find a niche, and there's nobody better to talk about that than you. And I'm just curious, how do you attack your day and get things done, with so many distractions in this new, social media world we live in?
Yeah, and it's so hard now, especially with COVID, right? And everybody's working remotely and doing 100 things, but all in kind of like the same place. It's really, keeping organized, and easy for me to say because I struggle with it, organization,
right,
and focusing on specific tasks. But it really is like, if you can find a way to motivate yourself and really task out what it is that's kind of, more pressing or the most pressing that day, and make sure each day you're at least kind of crossing off 2 or 3 things. So, you don't want to set a goal that's going to be so hard to achieve that it's going to take you, days, months, years. Yes, you always want to have that, but it's important to have tasks that you can achieve each day. It just gives you that sense of accomplishment, and it helps you kind of stay focused on what's the most important. But it's also good to have, your long-term goals, but that more immediate goal on a daily basis. I think when you start checking, boxes off each day, and kind of, reaching a goal, I think that's super important.
Sure. Are you kind of the mindset you always like to try to do the harder tasks first? I know I hear from so many young people it gets so overwhelming out there with all the information. I mean, what's your advice too on that? You kind of just try to knock out all your bigger tasks earlier in the day?
Yeah, definitely. It's like, because we all procrastinate, right? And
yep.
I mean, everybody always says, "Oh, I'm such a procrastinator." Everybody is. So, something that you really aren't looking forward to doing, but you push through it anyway. I definitely find that to be more, I guess rewarding, or more, better off in the long run.
It's fascinating to me to understand, if you had the opportunity to see yourself at 25, like there you are in front of you, what would you tell yourself? What would you tell your 25-year-old self as far as guidance and support?
Really good question. Be ready to make sacrifices. Make sure you really, really enjoy what you're doing, and just don't listen to like the outside noise, because there's going to be so many different things coming at you, whether it's, family, significant others, if you're friends, your friends' parents, people in the town that you live, everybody's got their own opinion. And if you feel confident in what you're doing, and hopefully you do, obviously that's why you started what you're doing, just like full steam ahead, blinders on, stay focused on your goals, and just don't listen to the outside noise.
Excellent. Yeah, just a few more for me, Nick. And
Sure.
I was just curious. I mean, did you always know you wanted to be an entrepreneur from a young age?
Nope, not at all. I if you would have told me when I was 18 I'd be doing this, I'd say you'd be crazy. I kind of just really fell into it, and then just kind of took one idea and goal and just ran with it. I definitely liked working for myself and with the team and stuff. You know, I wouldn't know what to do without it if I went back now. But you know, I could see how some people do need that structure. You know, it's a give and take, really. But it depends on the personality, right? You know, so if you're somebody who needs basically to have that structure or know where to be at a certain time, that's fine. But if it's, you know, if you're able to kind of create your own path, then there's nothing like it.
Want to go on to uStadium or even pursue uStadium?
Yeah, man, it really is just a platform for you can get breaking news, all the best news, you know, fast, pushed right to your phone. You don't need like 10 different apps to do that. But B, it's really a place for you to just kind of promote your fanhood and be rewarded for it. I mean, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you can post all day long and they don't even send you an email to thank you. You know, what we wanted to do is really reward those sports opinions that you have. And just build a community for fans who are just diehard fans and just want a place where they can, again, similar to what I just mentioned, like blind out, you know, blur out the rest of the garbage that you find on social media and just stick strictly to sports here, and just, you know, get your fix, you know, on uStadium. It really is the best place for it.
There you go.
My last question for you was, I thought about this one. So if you could give the young millennials a blueprint, you know, on chasing their real passion in life, what would you tell them to do to achieve that goal?
Man, I would say find something, and it's so cliche, you know, because you hear it. I would say two things. One is always network. Every opportunity is an opportunity to network and meet somebody who can help you or who you can help. And two is just kind of focus and just cut down on any other noise or distractions and find what it is that drives you each day and just keep going until you make a business out of it, because you can make you can make a business out of anything these days, and it's not easy at all, but it's definitely attainable. So just block out the distractions and just be laser focused. I'm excited for you guys and excited to follow along as you put more and more shows out there. So.
And with that, we want to say thank you, the value listener, for making us a part of your day. For you to carve out some time for us, it's truly a privilege. One More Round, the Young Professionals podcast, is brought to you by Anchor. Create, distribute, and monetize your podcast with Anchor today for free. We're all going to get knocked down in life. Just make sure you get up and get back in the fight. Until next time, keep punching.